So for me, I think this year, a lot of this year is about being more deliberate, right? And so
Hmm.
a lot of the stuff that I want are tools that are going to help me take more notes, do a better job of documenting my life so that, like you
Yeah.
said, I can look at the trends and some of that kind of stuff. And so if I think about changes to current tech that I have, journaling, I'm doing a lot more journaling. And I do find myself using a lot of the journal prompts, right?
Hmm.
And so, because it's capturing, like, we did our big family dinner at Rodizio, which is my favorite Brazilian restaurant. Having
Hmm.
lived in Brazil, got to go to the Brazilian restaurant. And so that night when it prompted me to write in my journal, that was one of the prompts. Hey, write about your experience at this location. And it puts the map in and what it was and all that kind of stuff. And so I really, really, really love that. I've got an episode of Mac Power Users I need to listen to because apparently, like Day One, which is a really popular journaling service and app, it's
Hmm.
able to do some of those same things now because Apple made all of those things available via API, not just to their app,
Okay.
so others can do it. Because
I
I
didn't
didn't
know
even,
they opened that up.
yeah, they did, which is not normal. So, but the reason I didn't want to listen to that episode and I've got to think about this is I didn't even think about the fact that I can't export these entries.
Right.
And there is no export feature. So I need Apple to build that in, or I'm not going to last very long because I don't want it. I mean, I don't mind it being locked into being stored and backed up on Apple's servers, but like with the
Hmm.
notes, I can get them out. Right? I can turn
Right.
them into a PDF
Right.
or that kind of stuff. And there's nothing in the journal app right now. So
Right.
I need them to fix that. And what ties into tech I want, I need it on my Mac and my iPad, right?
Right.
Not just on the phone. So we'll see on
Yeah, that
that
makes
one.
sense. Because long term, you don't know where you're going to end up with journaling, right? Apple's awesome now. They have the features that you like, but they open up the API and someone else app may function a little better.
Right.
And then 2 years from now, something comes out that has everything that you want. Well, there's no way to get the last 2 years into to the new app. So yeah, I'm
Yep.
with you on that.
I'm transitioning back to more extensive use of my iPad Mini instead of my phone.
Okay.
Um, it's not that I don't love my phone. I really do. I have zero regrets about buying it. The camera is
Yeah.
outstanding. We just did all of our family pictures over the holidays
Hmm.
using my phone. Screen is great, all that kind of stuff. But I just, when I'm doing a lot of the stuff that I do, I just need a little bit bigger screen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I turned on my screen time limit for YouTube. I had turned this off. And so this is why I was joking around about limiting myself on gaming. And you can get more on all of that on my Leaders Lift episode that's dropping tomorrow.
Hmm.
But I turned on my screen time limit for YouTube. It's set at 30 minutes a day. I don't consume my podcasts and stuff on video. I definitely listen in the
Right.
podcast player. But yeah, so I've got that turned on. And I want to start looking at my weekly screen time reports to see how much YouTube and reading. And like the other day when I looked at it, I had spent almost 10 hours in the Kindle app reading.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And, but anyway, I want to know there. And I actually turned off the sharing from my Mac because it's all work that I do on my Mac, right? And so
Hmm.
I turned off the sharing screen time across devices on my Mac because I didn't
Okay.
want my total screen time to be
Mixed
um
with your work, your
yeah.
productivity time. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway. Exercise variety. I want to get back into using the Fitness Plus. I did that last week, and then I didn't worry about it after that because I had to shovel so much that I didn't need to do cores or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then I definitely want to get back to one of our goals is to spend a lot more time camping. We basically want to be gone the whole summer if we can make it work.
Right.
As soon as school's out, we're just going to rotate between campgrounds. And I want to take a lot of pictures. A lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Right now, the pictures are useless because everything is white and
Yeah.
white and more white. So. All right, so tech I want, number one on my list, this is the biggest thing, is I want the 12.9. So I've
Yeah.
changed how I'm studying my scriptures in the morning, how I'm doing that morning study. And this ties into down below where I've got dual desk setup listed. So I've got my grandfather's desk that's sitting over here to my left, and then I've got this.
Hmm.
It's actually a small kitchen table that I work off of. But I want to start. I want to get to the point where I can do all of my recording and editing when I need dual screens at this workstation, but everything else
Hmm.
gets done somewhere else, whether it be that other desk or wherever. And the iPad, the larger iPad, will definitely help with that. And
Right.
the way I'm doing my studying now, I've got my phone and my mini and my Mac. I'm actually using the Mac, how you can use the touchpad and the keyboard to control your iPad. I'm using that to do my reading and marking up and taking notes in the Notes app. So I'm actually using all of these devices. Whereas if I had the 12.9, that would be it, right? That would be the only
Hmm.
device that I would be using. So just
Yeah.
reading and studying materials on the Mac screen is not the same in the apps that I use. So that's number one on my list. I want that 12.9-inch iPad Pro. So like you, I'll be buying that one in March
Hmm.
without knowing any additional software that may be coming
Right.
out in iPad OS
Right.
18. I'm in. I want to get back to doing some of my art. You've seen the artwork that I did. The one I gave my
Yes.
son for Christmas was a huge hit because it was the temple
Right.
out of his mission, and I want to get back to doing that. And it's just hard to do on the mini. So,
Right.
and then
The Apple Pencil works with the Mini?
yeah,
With
yeah,
that Mini.
yeah.
Okay, that's because that has the laminated screen and stuff like that. Okay, yep, yep.
That's how I'm
Okay.
tracking all of our coughs today.
Yeah.
But then I also want to, like you mentioned about we're getting in more into video. I would like to use the iPad for some of that kind of stuff. And for the
Yep.
podcast audio editing, I could use Ferrite, which is supposed to be super popular and would cut down my workload. And then also Logic is available, but then I may explore the Final Cut subscription that comes on the iPad
Yep.
to do our video editing versus using iMovie, which is what I use today on the Mac. I can't afford Final Cut or Logic on the
That's what I
Mac.
was gonna say. I remember it was pretty
They're
pricey.
like
Even
300
the
bucks
iOS
each.
subscription was pretty pricey too.
The iOS subscription is like, what is it, $10 a month, I want to say, or something like that. Let me look that
Well, I
up
thought it was
right
more
back.
like 29. Or maybe I'm remembering the speculation when they were saying like how much it would be priced or something like that.
Actually, it's even better.
How much is it?
$4.99 a month or $50 a year.
Okay, that is a lot better than I thought. So yeah, I'm definitely remembering the speculation because remember when the rumors were swirling around,
Yeah.
they were like, "This is going to be crazy expensive."
Yeah, because it is. I mean, you can still buy it on, like when I bought this new MacBook Pro, right? It was an add-on, and it
Hmm.
was like $300 a pop or something like that.
Yeah,
So, I
yeah,
mean, this is 6 years of, and you get all the updates and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that would be getting the iPad Pro is what may trigger me to start doing some of the editing and stuff over
hmm,
there. I love this MacBook, but again, I'm just not a Mac guy. I'm iOS. So if I could switch to some of that kind of stuff and we make progress um on the on the show, then
yeah,
I'm all in to do that. I'm also kind of that's also why I'm hoping that they release that new keyboard that's also got the built-in docking station, right? And so that it's more laptop-like, so I could go sit out in a chair, a camp chair, and put the iPad in my lap because
right,
I can't do that with the Magic Keyboard today. I'd have to get like the Bridge or the Logitech, one of those others that are a little more stable to set in your
yeah,
lap. So
yeah,
we'll see what Apple comes out with. So that's absolutely number one on my list.
yeah. And that
Uh,
keyboard makes more sense instead of being tied. Like I'm saying, I'm going to get a dock. I'll still be tied to my workstation here, uh, and with the basic keyboard, my the Magic Keyboard or whatever I go with that. So yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
If hopefully they do have that special keyboard with the dock and
If
stuff
they
built
combine the
into it.
keyboard and the dock, I think you're going to have to consider it, right? I know you
Yeah,
don't want to spend.
yeah.
It's probably going to be crazy expensive, but
I
I
think it
just,
is. Yeah,
especially if we're doing all this kind of stuff, and if the camera is not better on the iPad, and you could record shorts or stuff like that directly on the
right.
iPad, and then edit it right there and publish it to YouTube straight up, I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty powerful in my opinion, especially for you where you don't have a Mac that you're using.
Right. Right.
I've got the Vision Pro on my list, and it's become a little bit bigger deal. We'll talk about it in the post show, but it's really going to depend on a lot of factors. And then I talked about the dual desk setup, and then I want some LED Christmas lights, not just for Christmas,
Yep.
right? But like the Govies and stuff like that. And I was taking a look at them, but I want them not for my house. I want to be able to put them on my trailer, which is
Right.
a little
And they
different.
were on my list of things to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
on my upgrades for the trailer. Yeah.
yeah.
Some LED lighting. Yeah.
So I got to figure out if I can find some that are 12-volt powered,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or some that are battery powered that I could pull off the battery and charge as needed. Or if I have to plug them in, that's a little more complicated because the only place there's plugs on the outside of the trailer is down at the bottom of the trailer, and you'd put the lights at the top. So that's not cool.
Right.
Or around in the one storage bay on the inside. And I don't know that I'm brave enough right now to want to try and run wires on the inside of the trailer wall. So anyway, that's
Right.
on my list, and my granddaughter was asking about them because everybody that has the installed lights in their houses have changed the colors now, but it still looks like Christmas lights. And they're like,
Right.
I told her, I said, we're going to try and get some of those for the trailer, and she just got crazy excited. So
Yeah, yeah, that's why I said my daughter loves it. She is gonna love it. Every holiday, she's gonna remind you every holiday,
yep,
even holidays you don't celebrate. She's gonna want it green for St. Patrick's Day. She's gonna
yep,
want purple and green for Mardi Gras. It just helps them keep up with the seasons and what's coming up that season. She's always like, "What holiday is next?" So we can set the colors. So
yeah.
yeah.
Our neighbor across the street's an electrician and does installs of those, and he's got them on
Oh, cool.
every night.
Yeah.
But they're really expensive to do the full electrician based install, and
Right.
that's not what I'm looking for. Besides, I'm selling my house, so anyway.
Right. Right.
So yeah, that's it. That's the stuff that I hope to do. Again, most everything centers around that larger iPad, and then getting this kind of making this workstation into like I have to pull out the prop for the camera and the prop for the lights and all that kind of stuff. And if I'm not working here 24/7, then I can just leave all that stuff set
Right.
up and I don't have to worry about it. So that would be my goal. And then I'll probably sell the house and then have to rethink the entire thing. So
Yeah. Yeah.